Hi everyone, I am Elif Köse and this is Confidence Leads to Success. My love of sharing other stories with you has become a bug to me now, and I love bringing women I met in person and I love bringing women who I met virtually onto this platform, so you might find a bit of you in that story to inspire you and empower you to go all in for your life. So today I have got amazing Sarah Grant here. I was so lucky to have met her in person, even though we connected through LinkedIn, and I love following her. She has been supporting women in their image for 14 years now, and she also is qualified NLP practitioner. And she uses that skill of hers when she's helping women with their clothes. And through her experience, her own life experience, she found that gift in her to be able to support and empower women to be their best unique self. So I would love to have you on the stage, Sarah. Hi.
Morning, Elif, and thank you, honey, for inviting me. I always say to Elif, she's like a ray of sunshine.
Thank you. Oh, I think the same for you because I always believe in positive mindset and positive thinking, positive lifestyle. And when I met you, I could see that through the screen, even with your images, with your lives every day. I've got a reminder on my phone. I get to see them every day. So I just wanted to introduce you to my audience because your story is so beautiful, so honest, and so many women would find themselves. And I'd love you to share how you decided to get into the
Ooh.
image styling and what made you go for it.
Well, it was a must be. I was 48 at the time and I'm 63 now, is that my husband left me, and not only did he leave me, but he left me for a good friend of mine. So obviously that left me in a pretty dark place. I had 3 children. My eldest wouldn't speak to her dad for a few years. It was just awful. And my mum was taken poorly and never been in her life. So there was an awful lot going on around about that time. But I remember about 2 years after he left, a friend said, Sarah, we've got to get you on Match.com. So I thought, oh my God. But we did. We did. And honestly, it was so funny. It was any lady that's done it, seen those weeks come up. But I remember that day particularly going home, and it was a really lovely sunny day, and thinking to myself, I can't live like this anymore. So I had a vision of this big ball, and people that might know the series that used to be on called The Prisoner, you have to be in your 60s or 50s to know it. It was a big ball would chase him along the beach and would try and engulf him when he left this place in Wales. Anyway, so in my head, I grabbed this ball, I put it to one side, and everything that was going on in my head, I put in this ball and then pulled things out and dealt with them as I needed to. Don't get me wrong, it didn't always work, but that was the vision and what I wanted to do. If I couldn't deal with something when I took it out, I just pop it back in and see if there's something else I could deal with. So that was my strategy of trying to move forward.
I like that. I mean, they do say, don't they? You have to have. Can you control it? If it's not in your control, just put it aside. Don't put stress onto yourself.
Yeah. And now what I do is, if I always have a vision of these steps, and then there's smaller steps either side. So I'm climbing my ladder, and if I get stuck, I'll never come back down, but I'll sidestep left or right, depending what I'm feeling. And then when I'm ready, then I'll come back and then I'll start climbing up it. So never go back down that ladder. So yeah, so I did that. And then a friend said, I've got a friend who's opening a Danish clothing shop. So I ended up working there a couple of days a week because my background is hairdressing originally and sewing, like you, Elif. I mean, I've
Yeah.
been to your shop and amazing. I had a wonderful time. So I was in the shop, and it was there that I love people. People used to say,
I can tell that.
"Is that having a counselling session with you, Sarah?" And I used to love dressing ladies because I love creativity, and I knew when something looked right, but I didn't know the reasons why. And someone said you should become a personal shopper, and I thought that's so shallow, taking someone shopping. But as time progressed, I thought I need to do this. So I did loads. I've searched. I went to a fabulous place up in Warwick. Made some lovely friends. I did all my training, which must have taken weeks and weeks. And it sort of stemmed from there, really, and then started my own business. But the thing that was a big turning point as well was I did with my NLP, which is the Neuro Linguistic Programming. And it's where I really start to love myself again and moving forward. It was just amazing. And I discovered Daishin and Daishonin in Buddhism, which it's all similar. So I was chanting the other day with a lady. I haven't chanted.
Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
Yes. Oh, Ella.
Oh my goodness.
It's amazing. Oh my gosh. You've got the magazine.
Yes, I'm going to receive my Gohonzon this Saturday.
Downstairs.
Oh my goodness.
This is perfect.
We found something on the live recording about each other. How fabulous is that?
It's brilliant. So those together, it was like putting everything in a big cauldron, mixing it all together. And, I'm not a thinker. And I'm a swimmer. Not that I'm not a good swimmer, but
I get you, yeah.
And I kept thinking, and now I swim. Actually, I do synchronized swimming. I've decided that's maybe what I'll call it. So yes, that's how I started my business, and then I started the styling retreats because my other passion is baking and cooking. And
you're creative, basically, and you just love it.
You're creative, so we know what it's like.
I do. Do you know, I'm going to continue talking about this. I have got this burning question in my heart, and I'm sure so many listeners are also going to think this. I hope you don't mind, but what was more shocking for you when your husband left you? Was it your husband leaving, or was it your friend backstabbing you? What was the worst feeling of both? Because I am so in love with my girlfriends. It's like how you must have felt so.
Okay, so I mean, my husband did some lovely things, but very controlling and used to speak to me really badly. It was his tone, it was the way he says it, and apparently he speaks to my ex-girlfriend worse than he ever used to speak to me, which is quite reassuring. So I'd had suspicions for about 8 months because I knew what she was doing. But as we spoke to earlier, Ella, I didn't listen to my gut. I lived in my head. So she gave me the best present of all is to live to follow your intuition. What was the worst thing? I don't know. I think because I'd had suspicions for about 8 months. And I suppose things weren't right. I suppose maybe my friend, when I look at it, because even now I look and I think, did they really do that? It doesn't bother me because to me, I just love.
Now you moved on from that frame of your life.
It is.
It's because I always say the friendship is the most important thing in my life for me, because when you're happy, you call your friend. When you're sad, you call your friend. You go through a divorce, you call your friend. And what happened to you? You would have called your friend, and now she's actually run away with her.
I don't know, because she was a fairly good friend, but she wasn't one of those friends that
you would chat and share.
Well, no, she did know a lot about. So she knew a lot about my marriage. So I knew what she was doing. She lied to me. She told me so many lies. But if someone said to me, "Would you want to go back if you could change it?" I said no.
No.
I said because I just love being me.
And that is part of your life that made you today.
And I think that's why I love helping women, because yes, I love the styling, which I absolutely adore, but I'll always start with that internal dialogue if they need it. I had that lady who was 70, wouldn't wear trousers because her father told her she had a big bottom. So I did get her trying a pair of trousers on, and I asked her, why, and she said because of my father. So we did a little bit of work, had some tears.
That's when your NLP skills comes in.
Yes,
I
and
love
it's
it.
just being curious. And I find when you ask questions, you can ask them in one way and ask them in another way, and you get completely different answers. It's the same question. But now she wears trousers all the time. And there was one lady, I'm not going to say, if she listens to this, she'll know, is that I interviewed her, and I said to her, what am I going to say? I said, well, tell them your story. She said, but I don't have a story. So I said, well, okay, tell me your story. So she told me. So I said, you have got a story. So it's what I'm saying. It's the same question, but just phrased differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just
You just love styling, woman, and it's so good. So if somebody's having some body image issues, because as you know, the internet is just gone wild, and all these flawless look apps, and kids especially gone out this world of some of the photographs. I mean, I see some of the girls, I know them, they're petite girls, and when you look at their accounts, they have got legs as long as me. And I just feel, how do you think as a society, from your perspective, that we could change that?
What, the social media side?
Just for people to so worry about their image and do it for you, not for others.
I think people have got to find what's in their soul, because until you start accepting yourself and loving yourself, nothing is going to change. So it's living in your intuition, in your heart, not in your head. What we see on social media is not reality. And it's like we spoke before, people say to me, Sarah, you're always so positive, X, Y, and Z. But, we know, yes, we might be, but the imposter syndrome comes in, and you're having to fight it. It's finding that balance of the scales like we do in the Buddhism.
That's right.
So we all have that moment. It's not positive. It's just that we live in our hearts and we find being happy or content. I always like the word content, because I feel the scales are more balanced when we're content. Whereas when they're happy, they're sad. We're content, you're more like this.
That's right.
So yeah, and I think, I think you've just got to go for it. But I know it's not easy. And I spoke to somebody last night at the gym, and a lady said, I know my friend needs to speak to you, Sarah, because she was going through a divorce. And she said, you always got this positive mindset. And if it helps,
it's surrounding yourself with positive, courageous women. It makes such a big difference in one's mental health. I would totally believe that.
Without a doubt. I mean, obviously, we have to go through the emotions, and we can't suppress them, work through them, and then throw them away. If you suppress them, they're only going to
come back
up again.
That's right.
I always say people are like an onion. When you open an onion, you sometimes got tears, not always. And then it's like putting the onion pack together, taking away the tears, and the crunchy bit is your clothing. And it's working on that internal confidence inside of you, because confidence is it just shines out of you.
I love that. That was going to be one of my questions, so you already answered that. I know you do a lot of charity works, don't you, with your work?
Do, and I've it was Look Good Feel Better. Actually, let me grab this calendar.
Look Good, Feel Better charity. I love that name.
And I did, it's a worldwide charity. So anybody that's watching this, if they know somebody that's going through or had cancer, where they do workshops. So you've got the makeup ones, which are online, they haven't gone back yet. So I've been with them for about 6 years. And then this year I'm working with their body confidence workshops.
Lovely.
But this was, I had the calendar in 2016, also did a ball. It was about 13,000.
Wow.
Stressful year, but I had all these ladies had all going through cancer treatment. So it just shows you this lady where she can wear black, but with no makeup, but look what happens to her.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's the charity. So yeah, it's a brilliant charity. I love it.
I love its mission. It's good.
And they work with men as well.
That's good.
They'll do, because obviously men have those problems and they still need help. So, and they're doing a body confidence workshop as well. So yeah, it's a fabulous charity. Anybody that knows, book on. Because when I used to go to Maidstone Hospital, they would be given a goodie bag worth about £280
Wow.
of the makeup, so we take them through the makeup tutorial.
I love it. Wow. Can I ask you something? I know you help your ladies to feel their full potential. Could you explain what do you mean by that? How what you do helps them feel that?
Well, I mean, obviously we start with that internal work is always first and foremost. So if they've got, it's talking and asking those questions, and obviously it doesn't happen overnight. And the same with the styling and the colour, that you're teaching them and they're going out to learn. But I think it's teaching them, obviously with the colour, it lifts our mood. We know what it's like in our houses as well, in our, in your shop, what colours like. And it's teaching them to wear some of their best colours that make them light up. I mean, I've got this top on, which has got loads of
all your light colours, yeah.
my lighter colours. And then obviously finding their body, their body shape, their wardrobe personality, which is then unique.
It makes the life easy, doesn't it? Knowing your colours, it makes you save time when you go to a shop, a boutique or a store, wherever you are. You know your colours. You just read through with your eyes, see the colours. If none of them there, you don't even waste your time.
No, you walk away. Obviously, I say to clients, if you're going in for some black trousers, different. Yeah, but I always say to clients, if you're going to TK Maxx, that's where you scan when you know some of your best colours. And then I always look at the neckline because I've got boobs, so I'm better in a lower neck. Unless it was a big baggy jumper.
There was a tip, ladies. Have you heard that? If you've got larger boobs, you need to wear lower neck.
God, I got measured the other day and like on that half a cup size. I thought, oh.
I love it.
And so then you look at the neckline, then you look at the personality of the clothing. That's why I always like to call it. And if the length is right, if it's balancing the body, and then you try it on. And if you love it, do you buy it? For some clients, when I've taken them shopping, they say, Sarah, what do you think? I'll always throw it back to the client, because if she's going to and ah, when she goes back to her wardrobe, she's always going to and ah and not take it out. Don't get me wrong, there's always some clothes that we love more than others. Sometimes that they go, wow, depending on what it is. But I always say if it's a basic top, it still has to be right. People say, oh, I got it because it was cheap. It's that, this, that, and the other.
Don't do that. Don't do that, ladies. Don't.
No, it's funny because I did a post the other day talking about plastics and things like that. And that, England, we spend more on clothing than any other country in Europe. And I was speaking to somebody the other day and she said, because we've got much more individual shops and we buy quality as opposed to quantity. you know, I'm not, you've got Primark, which is great. I just don't like the ethics behind it. And that sort of thing. And like with yours, I mean, I've been down to your shop at LF and seen the clothes and the quality and the way things are made. I know, obviously, when you've got teenagers, they don't want that. But as we get older, we need that. And, you know, it's about
But you know, you say that, but do teenagers really want that? I think it's what they've been told by
I was going to say
society.
about society.
It's the societal force that, as if they need to do that, if they need to believe in that, if they need to dress like that, if they need to shop like that. It's our position to really help them change that habit about them, help them buy quality. I mean, I have a girl who helps me on Saturdays. I think you've met her.
Oh yeah, she was lovely.
She's only 17, and she has got real wise head on her shoulders. She knows what she's shopping for. She's not interested in buying quantity. She's looking for quality, and she wants to learn her colors. So it's what we want by doing this is we're actually helping you find confidence through the power of fashion. And you know how I love it.
It is amazing, because when you feel confident, it exudes. And somebody said they wanted a client I had has been asking for, I need a top because I'm on a dating, I want it to be sexy top. And I said, but sexiness doesn't come with your clothes. And
it comes within you.
And do you really want to start thinking sex on a first date? No, but it's your it's your thoughts.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That make you much more appealing and confident than it is wearing a low slung top with your boobs hanging out. I mean, you don't want that. You know, you're going on.
It's not that nothing is wrong with your boob being out. It's about how is that really who you are? Does that really give you confidence to feel sexy? Because I feel sexy today, even though I'm high necked.
It's in our heads.
It's all in your head.
And it's how you hold yourself. And sometimes you have to do these power poses just to get you in the right.
It helps when you stand back up, your shoulders, breathing, and then you talk that way. You suddenly feel so much more confident, and confidence certainly leads to success in every part of your life, ladies.
It certainly does. And then, you know, and often people say they don't feel worthy of X, Y, and Z. I had one lady who was 72. She asked me about the styling retreat. She said, but I'm in my, I think she was, she was 72. And she said, but is it worth it at my age? And I thought, it doesn't matter what, I mean, my friend who's lodging with me, I think you've seen Elif, her mum is 97.
I do love her. I love her.
Amazing. She's just been down to stay, actually. And she loves her clothes. She does her hair. She's got thick hair. We tint it blonde. I do her we do the makeup. She does her eyebrows, and she does them really well. Yeah. And it's just amazing. She wants a man.
No, ladies, don't get disappeared because your age is because you're older doesn't mean you're disappearing. You can't, it's not that you need to be invisible. Dress up, fill your heart, show up and speak up. I mean, you are paving the way for us. The older I get, I want to be even louder and...
Exactly. And people say to me, she's all, you know, because I'm 63, you don't look it. And I think, well, it's very nice. I said, but I don't even think it's about that. I said, I think it's more about the spirit that's in us. It's getting that youthful spirit. People might say, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. Or I was told when I was 60 by a friend I couldn't wear a skirt because it was above my knee. And
who cares?
And that post on Facebook went viral to America, Australia.
Yes.
And yeah,
You don't have to disappear. There is no, I will tell you, ladies, I'm a fashion designer, been in this business for 14 years, in and out of every part, and there is no fashion police will come and knock your door and fine you because you're dressed in a certain way. Absolutely not. Would you agree, Sarah?
Yeah, you have to do what
Yeah.
you love. You know, don't do it for your husband or your friends. Do it for you, because it's you that it affects. And you know, and it's about, when people say about loving yourself and the confidence, if you don't love yourself, you can't give that love out in the way, because yes, it just
Comes within you. Yeah. I can see it. I mean, this is wonderful, Sarah. It's been such a pleasure to have you. And I could talk to you for hours and hours. But what I will do, I will share all your details on the show notes so our listeners can reach out to you and have a chat with you, and you'll offer a 20-minute complimentary Zoom call. And I highly recommend, ladies, Sarah has got this contagious energy, honestly, that will give you enough for the next 6 months. And she's addictive.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for being.
Thank you so much, and I will speak to you soon.
Thank you, everyone. See you on the next episode.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.